Experiment 4, Diels-Alder reaction. To begin, let's prepare our malonylic acid solution. To do this, we're going to add 20 millimoles of our maleic anhydride into your 50 ml Erlenmeyer flask, equipped with a stir bar. Dissolve the solid using 25 ml of ether. Stop the flask and place on the stir plate until dissolved. Once dissolved, cool in an ice bath for 10 minutes. While cooling, we're going to prepare our second solution. We're going to combine 20 millimoles of aniline with 10 ml of ether and swirl. After 10 minutes, return the maleic anhydride solution to your stirrer. Then we're going to use a pipette to slowly add the aniline solution. During this time, your maleic anhydride is vigorously stirring. Once the aniline solution is fully transferred, stir for 1 hour. During this time, set up a vacuum filtration system. Dampen your filter paper using cold ether. Filter your product and wash using 10 ml of ether. Continue to pull a vacuum for a few minutes to air dry your solid, then weigh your crude product. We'll use this product directly for the next step. Set up your reflux apparatus. Then transfer your weighed crude malonylic acid to a 100 ml round bottom flask. Then you're going to add sodium acetate and acetic anhydride. You're going to add a ratio of 0.2 grams of sodium acetate per 1 gram of your acid, and then 2 ml of your acetic anhydride per 1 gram of your acid. Then attach your round bottom flask to your reflux apparatus. Heat slowly for 30 minutes. Place your variac at around 40. And do not preheat the heating mantle this time. You must heat slowly. You do not want to form darker than a golden yellow product. Once complete, remove the round bottom flask from your reflux apparatus. Now you're going to pour the mixture over 20 ml of ice and stir with a glass stir rod until the product is a solid. You can use cold water to aid in transferring the product from your round bottom flask over to the beaker. Set up your vacuum filtration apparatus. Dampen the filter paper using cold water, and then transfer your product over. Give the beaker a swirl, that way as much product will come over with the liquid as possible. Then scrape using your spatula or your glass stir rod to get the rest of the solid out of the beaker. Continue to pull a vacuum until the product is dry. To further dry, you'll press the crude product between 2 layers of filter paper. Then you'll transfer the crude product over to a clean Erlenmeyer flask for recrystallization. Lower your flask containing hexanes into the boiling hot water bath, and then begin to add small portions to your crude product. Add slowly and add the minimal amount of hexanes to dissolve your product. Once dissolved, place the N-phenyl melamine product into an ice water bath to chill and recrystallize out for 10 minutes. You can always use a glass stir rod to scratch and induce recrystallization. You're going to again vacuum filter your product, so dampen the filter paper using cold hexanes, and then transfer your product to the vacuum filter. Scrape as much solid over on the filter paper as possible, and then rinse with a small portion of cold hexanes. You're going to use 3 millimoles for your Diels-Alder reaction, and then save the rest for further analysis. So be sure to weigh your purified product. In a vial provided by your TA, add 3 millimoles of your N-phenyl melamine product and 5 ml of furan. Cap the vial and shake until the solid is dissolved. The mixture will be allowed to stand and react until next week. Label your vial and turn it into the TA. You will be assigned to let your reaction proceed under one of 3 conditions. You'll let it sit at 0 degrees Celsius in the fridge, at room temperature in your drawer, or at 0 degrees Celsius for 1 week and then warm to 60 degrees Celsius for 5 hours before the next left. Over the week, your product will begin to form as a solid from the reaction mixture. You will collect your product by vacuum filtration, washing with a small portion of ether. Continue to pull a vacuum to thoroughly air dry your product. Run a TLC plate of your Diels-Alder product in 1:1 ethyl acetate dihexanes as your eluent, and then circle the spots that appear under the UV light. Use the RF values to determine which spots are endo versus exo products. Prepare an NMR sample for spectroscopic analysis by dissolving approximately 20 milligrams of your crude Diels-Alder product in 0.8 mL of deuterated chloroform. Process the NMR results and determine your exo to endo ratio produced under your reaction conditions.